Hey everybody, so before this story starts, I want to say a few words about safety and then even how this whole thing happened. So as you've already probably seen in the title, I found some mushrooms that are potentially psychedelic or hallucinogenic. First of all, I don't want anybody getting hurt or killed, and I don't want to get in trouble. I don't promote the use of psychedelics, mushrooms or otherwise, and I am not 100% certain on the idea of these mushrooms. So it has to be 100%, 110% before you eat something. So don't take any chances. So how this whole thing started, I wasn't looking for psychedelic mushrooms or honey mushrooms even. I went back to a log that I had discovered a bunch of comb tooth mushrooms on. I had already harvested those mushrooms. You see in a video I'll put up somewhere here. I found this log covered up with comb tooth mushrooms, harvested them, came back a couple weeks later, and it had flushed out again with an even bigger flush of really nice comb tooth. So I harvested those. Well, as I was doing so, I was looking around the area and I saw these clumps of mushrooms popping up here and there, and I suspected that they were honey mushrooms, which I have been wanting to harvest and ID honey mushrooms for a few years now, but I've always bypassed the ones that I suspected were in fact honey mushrooms. Well, this day I saw them and I thought, why not do that today? Why not harvest some of these mushrooms, go through the process and see if they are in fact honey mushrooms? Well, as soon as I got to looking at the mushrooms, I quickly realized that they probably weren't the mushrooms I thought they were, but I thought I would go through the process anyway and try to ID these mushrooms, and I'm glad I did. It was really interesting. So that's where the story will begin, and we'll just let it unfold from there. So we have these and these and some nice little clumps coming up here. And this clump. These are really fat, I think, to be honey mushroom, but they're really beautiful, whatever they are. I've never positively identified a honey mushroom, so I'm a little leery, but this is, this is a honker of a mushroom. Whoopsie daisy, I didn't want to do that. Like this is a big heavy mushroom. Maybe I should harvest these and do a spore print or something. And so that was that. I gathered up the mushrooms I had. I was actually way more excited about the hericium that I found because I love eating them. And I was excited about the other mushrooms. I thought they were cool, but I was already fairly certain that they weren't honey mushrooms. I had no idea what they were then, and I honestly didn't even know if I would be able to pinpoint what they were, but this was the start of it. Just so you know, taking a spore print is as easy as it gets, and it's kind of fun, but you just need a dark surface and a light colored surface to lay the mushrooms on. That way, whether the mushroom spore print is dark or light, there'll be contrast. And with this mushroom, you're seeing it was obvious on the light and the dark, but that's not always the case. I took these mushrooms home. The first thing that I did was I put some on a black piece of slate and some on a white piece of paper or cardboard to get a spore print, because I knew that was probably going to be one of the key identifying features. So I got out my handy Bible, not the King James Bible, but my mushroom Bible, and this is a really great field guide. It's the Audubon Society thing. It's an old book, so there's some names in here that are obsolete, but the descriptions hold true, and it's got a lot of species in here. So I come home, I do the spore print, and I look up the honey mushroom in here, and it says it has a white spore print. Well, as you probably already saw, this is clearly not white. It's a rusty brown, orangish color. And so I started flipping through my mushroom Bible here, and I came to one of the plates that looked just like what I had found. So I started going through the checklist on that. Well, the spore print was the same color as the book says. The next thing after looking at the spore print was to look at the mushroom itself and go down through in the book at the other key characteristics and try to match everything up. So where I showed you the plate, the picture, it always correlates with the description in the back of the book. And I'm going to read out the stuff that I used. It's the easiest ones to go by. So first of all, you're looking at the cap, and the ones that I had the first day, those mushrooms were already fully expressed and they were full size. So it says caps, 3 1/4 to 7 inches in diameter, check. Convexed and knobbed to nearly flat, these were nearly flat. Smooth, silky, fibrous, with minute scales, light orange yellow to ochre orange, so the color fits really well. It says flesh thick. That was a key indicator to me. All right, here's a cool one, and I actually want to get the mushrooms and do this with you. So I went and picked a little young clump of the mushrooms right in the same area. I'm going to read off to you what it says. It says, odor anise-like or mild, taste very bitter. So the thing about the odor is really unique. So I've pulled off one of these mushrooms and want to slice it. I know you can't smell it, but you'll just have to take my word for it. No, y'all can't watch that. So fun little fact, the first version of this video got pulled down from YouTube because I was smelling the mushroom, and I guess they have an AI thing probably that polices the videos, and it looked like I was putting the mushrooms in my mouth. So I think that's why they took down the video. So kind of exciting, the first time I ever got a warning from YouTube or had a video pulled. So I feel like an outlaw, you know, kind of like that time I got a parking ticket in Nashville in my grandmother's minivan. Not as strong as the other day, but definitely a licorice anise-like flavor. The other day when I was smelling it, I was getting that along with a pretty apparent dill smell. So that for me, and I smell all of my mushrooms because I love the smell of them. For a mushroom, that's unique, like that's one of a kind. So still point me in the right direction. So this next part is going to sound a little crazy because I want to taste the mushroom because it says it's extremely bitter, but I don't know for sure what this is. It could be toxic or even deadly. So what I'm going to do, and I feel pretty safe about this, is bite a tiny piece, chew it up, but spit it out. Very important that I spit it out. So, nope, can't see that either. That's awful. It's extremely bitter. It's like eating tree bark or the inner part of a black walnut or a pecan. It's nasty, but it does fit the description. Again, stalks 2 to 8 inches long, 3/8 to 1 1/4 inches thick, solid pale yellow to ochre, streaked with minute fibers. Moving on, gills attached, crowded, narrow to moderately broad, pale yellow to rust. The veil, partial veil, thin and membranous to fibrous, pale yellow, leaving distinct evanescent ring or zone on stalk. Ring sometimes persistent, high. So far everything seemed to be lining up. I'm going to go through the last few things that they have described here and show you that they also lined up. Edibility. Well, I don't know about this because I didn't go that far, but edibility, hallucinogenic. Season, August to October. Well, I'm in central Arkansas, so that's believable because it's late November and we're pretty far south, clustered on wood stumps or on the ground over buried wood. So these are right at the base of the tree. I suspect that they're growing off of the dead roots. So check. Range. Widely distributed in North America. Got that. The field guide also listed 2 lookalikes, and that was the honey mushroom and the deadly gallerina. Alright, last of all, but not least, comments. In Japan, the species was named the Big Laughing Gem because its ingestion has caused unmotivated laughter and foolish behavior. So I want to be very clear, I am not 100% on the idea of this mushroom. I am 99.9% sure, which is not good enough for me to eat it. I don't want to eat them anyway because I don't want to take a trip without leaving the farm. And even if I did want to do that, these cause diarrhea and GI upset, is what I've read. A lot of this is unclear on this mushroom. There's a lot of conflicting information on this mushroom if it is in fact the Big Laughing Gem. So if I'm not going to eat this, why do I care? Why is it important? Well, to me, it's kind of fun to think that I found a hallucinogenic mushroom. I'm really fascinated with some of the research that's going on with the psilocybin mushrooms, namely the cubensis. But no, I have no desire to eat these and take a trip. But there is something that comes out of this. So because I do want to harvest mushrooms that look like this, such as the honey mushroom, or namely the honey mushroom, I need to know the lookalikes so that I don't harvest the wrong thing and get poisoned or take a trip and never leave the farm. And also, I think mushroom hunting should be more than just finding the edibles. I think that's great and it's a great place to start. But to me, it's about learning things and finding new things. It's just good to keep your mind working all of the time. And I will say again, if you're hunting edible mushrooms, I think it's a really good idea to find out what the poison ones are, or the ones that you don't want to eat, because that helps you rule out things and makes you less likely to have a mistake. And yeah, I just wanted to satisfy my curiosity. Yeah, love doing stuff like this, trying to learn things. Possibly the Big Laughing Gem, possibly a hallucinogenic mushroom. I think that's cool. I hope y'all do too. I appreciate you watching. Y'all be good. Bye. Stay safe.